2017 who passed away was Tom Petty, Mary Tyler Moore, and Dick Enberg. Those three. Now here's Tracy in New Orleans. He's with us here on Mad Dog Unleashed. Tracy, good afternoon. How are you today?
I'm good, Dog. Thanks for taking my call.
You got it, Trace. What's up now? Let me hear.
I'm an Ohio State alum, big Buckeye fan. I'm trying to watch the Big Ten championship game when they play Wisconsin. Now, I live in Central Time, so it came on about 8:15, and that game wasn't done till after midnight. And I don't know how the hell anybody can watch these damn games and these bowl games anymore. And on top of that, you throw that on with two SEC teams playing in the national championship game. Who the hell's going to watch this thing?
Well, again, it is Alabama. It's not some tiny little team. It is Nick Saban. It is Georgia. You know, it's a big program. Herschel Walker, Fran Tarkington, history, coming off an iconic Rose Bowl where everybody watched it. So they might draw some people to the sets, Trey. So I think, you know, they also did not play. Remember, they get a break here. This is not Alabama LSU, who had already played in a regular season and was not a great game, 9-6. These two teams, fortunately, did not play. So I think that plays into a little bit. I think you're going to have a good ball game there, Trace. I don't know. You're right. I don't know what the rating will be. We'll be interested to see that ourselves. But it's Nick Saban and it's Georgia, two teams, same conference, who did not play, and Georgia coming off a huge game. So remains to be seen what that rating will mean. We'll keep an eye on that. Go ahead. What else?
I just don't know why. I get the money thing driving these things, but who can watch a game for 4 hours? I can't.
That I agree with you on. Well, we've gone through that a lot in college football. The game length of the games is a major problem. I don't know what the solution is. The first down marker they review everything. Longer halftime. The game is incredibly slow. But it doesn't seem to bother the people who are in the sport. You know, they look at these Saturday afternoons on campus as iconic days, vacations, holidays. You know, a day of, everybody sits back and watches a football game. They're so traditionally oriented that it doesn't seem to bother the folks in the sport. The length, because they never do anything to change it. But I do agree. See, the thing is, why would you want to tell an Alabama fan we have to shorten the game? The Alabama fan wants the game to go forever on Saturday afternoons. They love going to the games. They want to tailgate. They want to do this. They want to do that. They love the rivalry. They want the game never to end. So from that perspective, you can understand, it's a Saturday. They walk to the game, lots of them on the campus. So, there's just not a lot of desire for the folks in the sport with individual schools to shorten the games. And that's the NFL wants to shorten the games. They have another window to get to. It's a national football league. They got to get to 4 o'clock. The fans want to go home. They play a lot of night games. It's a little different here for the NFL. Rick in New Canaan, Connecticut, who is socked in today, he wanted to go to work and he can't. I guarantee you. So he's going to listen to this show. Even Connecticut Muffin probably was closed today. He wants to listen to this show all day. Rick, good afternoon. How are you today, pal? Okay.
Hey, Christopher. Happy New Year. Not only did I get Connecticut Muffin this morning, I'm at work at corporate headquarters on Park Street.
That's a very good job on your part. It was a old western town there this morning with the weather. All right, how about the Georgia game? Let's do that first. Rose Bowl. Now you had to take kids back to school and everything else. Did you stay in that little hotel somewhere in Pennsylvania to watch both games? Let me hear.
I got a hotel, got the game on, and sat there and watched it. Watched every second of it.
All right, now, do you agree with me that the Alabama game, 2 games on a one day, is too much after that great first game?
I think it was. Hindsight's 20/20, but by the time that game dragged out, the Alabama game became anticlimactic.
It really did. It really did. Give me your thoughts on the Georgia game here as far as greatness is concerned.
I thought it was a great game. I thought it was right up there with the Orange Bowls you mentioned. I thought it was up there with the Notre Dame Alabama 73. I thought it was up there with the Penn State Alabama, Barry Krause. All those games, it was right there.
Yeah, it was a great game.
I think the difference, you were hung up on Baker Mayfield. I think that the difference was that the story was missed was really the coaching adjustments. I blame Oklahoma's coaches. They did not make the adjustments to Georgia's adjustments.
I buy that. I think that affected them in the third quarter. I don't give Mayfield that much trouble there, but I think on those 4 series, Rick, where that game should have been won with Oklahoma, when they had the 7-point lead, 55 seconds to go, and the 2 series in overtime, Mayfield in that situation's got to take his team home, and he didn't. And he did not do that.
You know, the game was lost in 6 seconds at the half. Would they kick that 55-yard field goal?
It's a little strong to say that, but I know what you're saying. It gave Georgia a lot of momentum.
They had the momentum, but then it made it a 1-touchdown game. I mean, if you look at that, too, Fowler said it was a squib kick. Watch the replay. The kid made an unbelievable. It was like a third baseman catching a line drive.
I got to see it again. He made a nice play. The guy,
he reached down the. It was like reaching down the line. He grabbed it. The kicker thought he was kicking a line drive, blasted it, and the kid in the middle of the field caught it.
I got to see that again. That's a hell of a play then. So he saved them a lot of time to make the one play and then the field goal.
Put the ball right down on the ground at the 50 and gave him the time.
Yeah. All right, what else now? How about...
What I was calling about, your conversation with Ira yesterday caught my attention. The debate on Faneca-Boselli.
In the Hall of Fame, the tackle for Jacksonville and Faneca, the longtime guard with Pittsburgh. Go ahead.
Faneca, hands down. 13 seasons, 9 Pro Bowls. You were saying he didn't have that good a deal with the Jets. I thought he had 2 good years with the Jets. He was with DeBrickashaw, Ferguson. They made the AFC Championship in 2009. They had 2,000 yards rushing with Thomas Jones and Sean Green.
Did they really? Okay.
Then the Jets decided not to sign him in 2010 and fell apart.
Interesting. I just look at his, and good call, Rick. I look at him from a Steelers standpoint. I thought his career fizzled a little bit, and you tell me not the case as far as the Jets are concerned. I remember Madden used to think that Faneca was a great guard, and if Madden used to think that, then I'm going to put him in the Hall of Fame. 6-time All-Pro and 3-time All-Pro for Boselli, for whatever that's worth. Let's go to Hayden in Virginia. A chance for him. Hayden, good afternoon. How are you today, pal? What's going on?
I'm doing well. First off, though, you need to start turning your attention to the winter sports. If you didn't watch Trae Young last night, I don't know what you're doing.
I'm not watching. Hold on now, Hayden. Listen, all right? I know that you want to make a big deal about this. I am not sitting there this time of the year watching a college basketball game. I'm not. I mean, unless you're going to tell me it's Duke, North Carolina on January 4th. And I'm not trying to tell you that I don't like college basketball, but on January 4th, when the game means absolutely nothing, I am not going to sit there when I've watched nothing but sports for 5 days. I'll watch a Breaking Bad. I'll go do a jigsaw puzzle. I'll hang out with Colin for 5 minutes. But I am not going to sit there and watch. Who'd they play? I don't even know who'd they play.
OU Oklahoma State last night.
I can't watch that game. Oh, come on now. Come on.
All I'm saying is you have to watch Trae Young. At some point, my point is that Trae Young is appointment television at some point over the next year. And this is the meat and potato. We all, 30 teams that are locked for March. But this is where my teams like mine are battling, scratching every night to try to get in there, to get in that tournament and to avoid the shame in the NIT. So I know you don't appreciate the sport. But when my team,
I do not. When 68, listen. Here's what I'm going to say: when 68 teams make the NCAA tournament field, I can't get into Maryland or Oklahoma State. And I saw that West Virginia went to the Midwest and won both games. I actually watched that West Virginia Oklahoma State game this past week. But I cannot sit there and I cannot break down Maryland's first Big Ten game against Penn State and think about poor little Hayden and get his team into a situation where they figure out a way to win. So come March 5th, that gives them a better chance to get in the NCAA tournament. That I can't do. I'm sorry, I can't do. That's not fair. That I can't do.
Well, it was actually our third game. So we played a couple games back. They were
Hayden, read a book. Hayden, read a book. Read a book.
Read a book. But I got to ask you about a couple TV things, especially with the rumors with A-Rod and the booth. Did you ever listen to a radio broadcast when it was Boone and Schulman?
Well, that's on the World Series when I did the games. I did not. I'm at the game myself. Go ahead. I did not see that.
Point being, they were fantastic together. And then you had the third person on the TV one with Mendoza, and they were atrocious. I'll never understand why they are redesigning that booth, all built around Jessica Mendoza, as they negotiate with A-Rod, who obviously wants it.
Well, sorry, what A-Rod wants to do it. He wants Matt Vesgergen to be the play-by-play guy. Is that what he wants?
That's the rumor. And another thing, as far as the TV goes, guys like Richard Deitch out there are absolutely clueless. CBS's number 2 broadcast is by far and away better than one.
Well, what did Richard Deitch? I didn't know. I don't pay too much attention to Richard Deitch, but what did Richard Deitch say? Let me hear.
He's all over Romo and how great Romo is.
Oh, he's nuts.
3 hours of that on Sunday.
Oh, he's nuts. He don't know. He don't know. The day I'm going to listen to Richard Deitch break down a broadcaster is the day I got to quit. He don't know. I mean, listen, they like Romo because he's a guy that they know. It's a fresh voice. They think he's funny, and he can predict the play before it happens. So the whole world likes him. The 25-year-old sports guy likes him. I mean, he doesn't let the game breathe in my eyes. He doesn't, it's like the guy who wants to tell you what the pick is before Goodell goes up there on draft day and tells you what the pick is. I can't stand it. But again, for whatever the reason, Romo has been the young following, the social media crowd has adopted Romo as one of their own. And, they think he's humorous. He doesn't take himself too seriously, blah, 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 blah. I don't look at it that way. To me, Romo he interferes with the game too much. That's my take on it. Now, that's an old-fashioned view on it, but that's my take on it. Go ahead.
And I know you're not paying attention, but it's the same thing here with the Wizards. They have this Carol Lawson. I know no one cares about that.
I know who Carol Lawson is. Yeah, she does the games.
They're shoving some of these announcers down our throats for political correctness. It is awful. It's awful, dog. I mean, the fact that I've got to listen to watch a Wizards game on a weeknight and have her 4 minutes.
Well, listen, I'm not gonna. Let's not get in, Hayden, to male. I don't think the male-female voices has anything to do with it. I'm not gonna. The game is the game. It's Wizards basketball. You can't get that wrapped up in it. The Nets have a young girl doing the games too with Ian, so I can't get that wrapped up in it. But again, the accent nowadays with the writer who covers television is to be different. That's what they want them to be. Be different. Get away from the cookie cutter Phil Simms school of analyzation. Be different. It's sports talk. Be different. Get 3 voices in there. Be diversified. All sorts of topics. Do domestic abuse. Do this. Do black, white. That's what they want. That's what they want. Everybody wants to, have the fresh new thing. And, Romo in a lot of ways is that way. He's a former Cowboy quarterback who, is somewhat entertaining, who wants to tell you, as soon as they break the huddle, what they're going to run on 3rd and 8 with the season on the line. That's what they want. I don't want that. Let me see it. Let me digest it myself. Give me Ray Scott. Half pass Jacob Wilkins has a sports bite. Mad Dog Unleashed.